There's the right wing and then there's the freedom, those fighting for the freedom of expression. Representing the right wing tonight, don't mind these descriptions only in the context of the debate. Monika Arora, she's an advocate. She's specifically Dinanath Batra's advocate. Dinanath Batra represents that fringe. Dr. Indira Tiwari, welcome back into the debate. She's General Secretary of the Hindu Mahasabha, so she also represents the fringe. Syed Inayatullah is Vice President of All India Milli Council, Tamil Nadu chapter, was earlier against the Kamal Hassan movie. He is also with us tonight. M.R. Venkatesh, I'm not going to call you right-wing, but appears your views are somewhat similar to that of those expressed, because otherwise you'll jump. But I suspect you're with the right-wing on this one. Yogesh, master author, is joining us from Bengaluru. Right? Shobha, author and columnist with me in the studio. Kannan Sundaram is a publisher in this case of this book. Is joining us live from Chennai. Aryama Sundaram, senior advocate of Supreme Court, and Vani Tripathi. Big panel, lots of time. Like to start with Kannan Sundaram. Kannan, what has your experience been with the right wing? Before we begin the debate, can you tell us what really led to this?
See, about 1 month back, the author Perumal Murugan started receiving some phone calls. They were quite abusive and very threatening. And after trying to deal with that all by himself for some time, he went to the police and gave a complaint. But I don't think the police took any action on those complaints. This continued. At one point, some of them got together and had a demonstration. They burned the book. They buried with chappals. And the next, they had a bandh in the town of Tiruchengodu. And after that, it became too hot for him to stay in his town. He came out. He spent some time with us in Chennai.
Right.
And then the local district administration, they invited him for a peace talk. And in the peace talk, he was there alone with his lawyer, and there was a mob of 300 people on the other side. And I think the district administration forced him to sign on dotted line saying that he is apologetic and that he will withdraw.
Forced him to. That's very interesting. Now, what I don't understand, and maybe M.R. Venkatesh can explain this to me. Yeah. This book is released in 2010, Mr. Venkatesh. It takes 4 years, 2 reprints and a translation to English for the protest to start. Why?
Arnab, frankly, I have not read the book, though it's in a Tamil book. I have not read it, so my observations are to be seen in this context. An answer to a book is always a book. That's what the Mahatma said, and that's what I believe as an author. I believe that anybody is to be criticized, it has to be criticized the most civil way. And two, I will also say, but freedom of expression is always circumscribed by one important fact.
Standard argument. No, standard argument. I knew the standard argument will be put forward by.
No, please listen to me.
An author. Okay. So, Emma, I'm countering you. An author, if you write a book, would you want to sign a peace agreement following protests by whatever fringe groups in the presence of the state administration who fails to curb the protest? This is gundagardi. This is not a protest, it's gundagardi.
This is the problem. No, this is gundagardi. Why this happens is, your state abdicates, your courts abdicate, the whole entire machinery of the state has abdicated, and instead it has allowed people to settle on the streets. This has happened time and again.
Who has allowed?
Fringe groups which
no, you can't blame. You want to protect the fringe groups.
This is allowed.
Sir,
state is not. State has abdicated. The state has abdicated. Look, when the same left groups which are today talking about freedom
this
of
is
expression,
not left or right.
Were there when the Vishwarupam was there?
This is not a left or right.
Vishwarupam was there.
Yeah.
No, please understand. Today, people who are talking about freedom of expression claim they are leftists. So I'm saying that, okay, forgive me for using the word left. Let me say that those who are talking about freedom of expression, where were they when Mr. Kamal Hassan was facing Vishwarupam? They just vanished. So it is selective amnesia, and it is rule for the law for those who take the danda. So it is now settled on the streets, and there is nothing civil about it. So you abuse me, I will abuse you. So this is the level to which
No, M.R. Venkatesh, the counter to that is, when the Vishwarupam controversy was going on, were you or were any of the people at that point of time with the taking the contrary position? You were not. You're very conveniently using this argument. The fact here is the fact here is Aryaman. The fact here is, what are we seeing?
Mr. Arnab Goswami, I have written an article about this. Please check up. It is on my website, mrv.net.in. It is there. So I have supported Mr. Kamala Hassan. I have said he has a freedom. But having said that, I also say Perumal Murugan has a right to write about it. But having said that, I will also say, why
should we open up the debate?
Why bastardize a community?
What?
Yeah, we should.
What did you say?
I said, why should we bitch a community? Or
no, what did you say?
Why should we bitch a community?
You take back those words. Don't use this language, MR.
No, I have to say this because I am
saying
take back the words
in
the context. Not somebody said this. No, I will not, Mr. Arnab.
No, this is exactly the kind of provocative language which is not required. I don't expect it from you, MR Venkatesh.
No,
I don't expect it from you. Shobha De Shobha De, please. Shobha De, no, Shobha De. First of all, take back those words. This is the kind of, you want to create this persecution complex so that political groups can take advantage of it. That's all. 1 second. Before I come to you, Monika Arora, Shobha De wants to say something to you, MR Venkatesh. Shobha De. No, Shobha De.
I'm shocked that he's misusing this platform to mouth such words. I still believe it's a family channel. At any rate, that apart, he's injecting cheap politics into.
Where is my freedom of expression?
Excuse me, sir, I'm talking. The point is that the author was not just an author, he was a scholar, he was a professor. This is his, he's written 35 books, he's been a professor for 17 years. The book has been in the public domain for 4 years. This seems politically motivated and there's no getting away from that. A man has been silenced. You can silence one man, one author, one voice. How are you going to silence an entire generation?
And this is happening in India, Shobha. After the Charlie Hebdo shootout.
Not just that.
After the shootout in Paris, this is what we have. We have public personalities like Kiran Bedi asking a question, why provoke?
Why provoke? Arnab, not just that. I wish on this panel there had been more publishers, Litfest organizers, authors and journalists. Can we please have one person speak at a time? We should have had people on the front lines today, publishers, authors, journalists, filmmakers, anybody who's in
Why do you think they're not speaking? Where have they gone?
Why are they not speaking?
Why have they gone into hiding? They are afraid of the fringe.
Everybody is afraid of the lunatic fringe and what they're capable of doing. This man had to leave town with his family. He was hounded out of his home for a book that's been there for 4 years.
Came on the hollow
so
promises.
I'm sorry, this is political, it's malicious, it's dangerous, and we must raise our voices or everybody is going to be facing the same problem over and over again.
Monika Arora, is this book more dangerous for the country than to read books? Than to read books about compulsory. No, 1 second. Just a minute.
I have heard the.
Monika, let me just ask you: is this book? I have your excerpts of you. You represent Dinanath Batra, who represents
the this nation. No,
Dinanath Batra, who
jump into the panel discussion. No, Arnab, we are talking about 35 awards. We are talking about various lectures about scholarly things of this writer. But do we know what he has written? He has talked about Ardhanarishwar, half man and half woman, and they are having sex all the time throughout the day, throughout the years.
We know what he has written. Ardhanarishwar is not invented by him.
This is what Murugan has written.
We know what he has written.
Interfere when I am speaking. Allow me to speak as I did to you. Secondly, what Mr. Murugan has written is he has defamed and derogated the entire community there of womanhood. What he has written is that during the chariot festival, when there is night is the proof. Any female above 30 years of age can have sex as many times as she wants with the males of the area. There is no restriction. Lanes, rocks, bushes, mandapams, everywhere there is sex going around. And this generation has children born out of that sex. Thereafter, what he writes is, these women are wandering for sex. Such things he has written. And he says these things were prevalent in 1940s.
So what is your problem? What is your problem?
Were they prevalent?
What is your problem? Aryaman Sundaram, why are you laughing? Just a minute. Aryaman Sundaram, so you're saying this is dangerous.
Freedom of defamation.
Okay, fine. 1 second. Freedom of expression, Aryaman Sundaram. Miss Monika Arora. Miss Arora, 1 minute. Miss Arora.
Freedom of expression is for those people also who are agitating.
Right.
The book is set 100 years ago. By the way, it isn't about today.
Okay.
And even had it been about today, he has a right to write it.
Okay, one second.
was
Aryaman
about
Sundaram.
1940s.
Aryaman
Please have your
Sundaram.
facts correct.
Aryaman Sundaram. Before Aryaman Sundaram, simple point is just think about it. Is this book more dangerous for people to read than to read books made compulsory by the great Dinanath Batra, which prescribe including Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Tibet, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and even Myanmar, while learning to draw the map of
Goswami,
India?
Your facts
No,
are not
Mr.
correct.
May I?
They are not compulsory reading.
Whatever. This is Dinanath Batra's great book, right?
I have my facts correct.
If suppose I tell you, Miss Monika Arora, suppose I tell you.
Are we discussing Murugan episode or
Miss Arora, the basic.
Those points as well.
Miss Arora, the basic argument was on this freedom of expression point, right? So I am saying that freedom of expression cannot be extended to people like Dinanath Batra who talk rubbish. Arrest the man. Suppose I arrest the man.
Arnab,
Snatch all the books away, burn them right now. Somebody burn those books right now.
रावण की गर्भ से सीता पैदा हुई।
मगर जो ये कितना what about people who say what about people who say okay, listen, Monika Arora, 1 minute, Monika Arora, just 1 minute, let Aryaman Sundaram come in, please. 1 second. What about people who say once you consume cow milk, you will not commit any crime? You want a cure for pimples, use cow dung. You want white teeth, use cow dung. You have indigestion, use cow dung.
Has to be scattered.
What if I say people who talk such things should also be held back? That's their view.
He has indigestion. Problem is you
No, I know, please don't contemplate with the cow dung because that has got the medicinal values.
No, I don't.
Please place the facts before the nation. Let the nation know what did this writer write.
Please talk rational.
Entire village.
I don't know. First,
at a loss. Can I just
Acha, Aryaman Sundaram. I am at a loss today to understand. Aryaman Sundaram, please. Yes, Aryaman Sundaram. Responding to you.
I think I've heard so much of anguish being poured out right now, which is exactly what the freedom of expression is all about, madam. Freedom of expression is you have every right to express everything you did, same as somebody else has the right to express what they did. I'd only like to remind you what Justice Holmes had so beautifully said about what freedom of speech and expression was. He says the freedom is the freedom for the thought that we hate, not for the thought that we cherish. If we cherish a thought, where is the freedom? If somebody is only saying what you love to hear them say, then there's no freedom. The freedom comes in because people are saying something which you hate, and that is where the freedom comes in. And please, madam, allow me to finish. Madam, freedom of speech also includes not interrupting me. Freedom of speech also includes allowing me to speak and not interrupting me. The point I'm trying to make is it is such a valuable right both in the future of the country, in the future of the world, in expression itself and in a democracy. Please let us guard freedom of speech carefully. Do you know what really hits me about all this? Years ago I did a case which involved a movie which was anti-reservation. It was banned by the Madras High Court. It came up to the Supreme Court. The police department filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court saying that this film should not be allowed because it will create a law and order problem. The words of the Supreme Court were so beautiful. They said, we are amused yet troubled by the stand of the Madras police.
Okay.
And we ask ourselves,
I have a very basic question.
It's not the duty of the
Agreed. Agreed. I have a question. I have a question for Dr. Indira Tiwari. Dr. Indira Tiwari, my question is to you. No, 1 second. Dr. Indira Tiwari. Let me ask you a very fundamental question. Think about it. This right-wing Hindu fringe, right? Will it also ban the Kama Sutra?
Arnab, you can have better
No. 1 second. Will the right-wing Hindu fringe ban the Kama Sutra?
Every Hindu is a fringe for you.
Bhai, please listen to me. Will the right-wing Hindu fringe ban the Kama Sutra? Am I asking a wrong question? What will you do?
Fringe for you. What is
I am asking you. This is a fringe.
Don't interrupt. The question is thrown to me.
Question is thrown.
Let me answer you.
Or for that
Let me
matter,
answer.
let me complete. Let me complete. Indira Tiwari, I didn't complete my question.
You have better
My
words
question
to use
is,
for
will you?
Hindus.
No, 1 second. If there are some people who say, Miss Tiwari, I'm putting a question to you, right? Please let me complete, articulate it so you understand the question in its full depth. Okay. Because people, I forget who's the fringe, who's not. My question here is, the publisher is alleging here that the fringe sentiments on this case, and they say, quote, no writer who dares to touch the so-called Hindu sentiment will be able to live in Tamil Nadu. Now, somebody who says that there is a community called Y, and that community Y, okay, when he does not like the Kama Sutra, feels it's a terrible influence, it's stereotyping, it represents all ancient Hindus, right, as sex maniacs. Now, suppose somebody says this, and suppose somebody says as a result of it, we ban the Kama Sutra, ban the publication, and anybody who finds the Kama Sutra, any copy in his house, any airport bookshop showing the Kama Sutra will be burned down and broken down. Will that also hold? And anybody who can hire 10 gundas to do that. You know, there are enough lumpins in our country. You want to hire 10 lumpins, pay them 50 rupees each, they do something.
That's what is the irony.
So does anybody who can... Final part. Does 1 sec. 1 minute, Indira Tiwari, listen to me. Anybody who can hire 10 gundas becomes a representative of the Hindu religion. Since when?
No way.
Since
no
when?
way. No way.
And
no
by the way,
way.
my Kama
no
Sutra
way.
question.
No, please let me answer. No, please let me answer. This is, as the one of the panelists very rightly said, that it's a politically motivated moment in order to win over the Tamil Nadu state, which they lost in the general election on the hollow promises made by our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi.
I'm not giving.
He says,
I asked you a freedom of expression issue. You are answering it politically. Why are you avoiding my question?
It's a political moment, and that is why I see the Dravidian parties who had always claimed to be the representative.
You are reading from a prepared answer to a question thrown to you on Newshour, Indira Tiwari. I didn't read a prepared question. If you have a prepared speech, who wrote that speech for you?
Please allow me to answer.
Who wrote that speech for you? You have got a written speech there?
No, not at all. I'm answering you.
But you just read out. What is that piece of paper you have?
See. No, that is, I have not gone through the book.
So I'm asking.
Therefore, I have just fetched it from the net.
Yes.
What he has written, I have not found. But what I have gathered is that first of all, Constitution provides you the freedom of speech. And
what freedom of speech? What freedom of speech? For example, 1 minute. For example, I asked the Kama Sutra question. It's very relevant. Yogesh must, and I'm going to take this group's head on. Whether they like it or not, that's the only treatment they deserve. Okay, now this man, when we have Wendy Doninger's book, The Hindus and Alternative History, being banned in February last year after Hindu fringe groups were outraged by it. By the way, who gives them the authority to represent all Hindus? I'm a Hindu, I don't believe in that. I believe you're absolutely fringe. Anyway, this man you represent, Batra, who seems to be slightly, weird in his views, he says, Are bhai, listen to me. One second, tell Batra he's not the representative of Hindu religion. He says, the Sanskrit texts cited in my lecture were written at a time of glorious sexual openness and insight. And I have focused precisely on those part of the text. This is what Wendy Doninger says. To which Batra sends his legal notice, maybe Monika, you wrote it. So it's written. So the approach.
What Wendy Doninger wrote.
I know what Wendy Doninger wrote. I am telling you what you wrote. I am telling you what you wrote.
Shivamanga is the representation of male sexual organ in erection.
Allow me to
Such
speak
was the dastardly things what she wrote.
That the
and nobody talks about the facts of the matter.
Miss Monika Arora. Miss Monika Arora. Miss Monika Arora.
Nobody knows the facts over here. Everybody has come with a political agenda and a political speech ready with them.
I am asking one question, and please listen to me, and I don't think Monika Arora needs covering fire. My question is, my question is, I apply your logic on you. I apply your bias on you. I apply your prejudice on you. I apply your ignorance on you. And I am asking you, using your argument, that Batra sent a legal notice in which he said, and which he said, and allow me, ladies, to have my, I will ask one question, Indira.
You are unparliamentary and you do not allow me when you call me.
Miss Indira Tiwari, I will come to you, but right now I think I want a clear answer from the representative of Dinanath Batra. Dinanath Batra says in his legal notice. So the approach you notice has been jaundiced. Your approach is that of a woman hungry of sex. My question, if somebody says that the Kama Sutra makes similar stereotypes of the ancient Indian community, will you ban the Kama Sutra?
Go to the Honorable Court of Law.
Will you break the idols in Khajuraho? Will you break the idols in Khajuraho? Answer me. How many books, how many places will you break? How many books will you burn?
Come to that question, Mr. Arnab Goswami. I was waiting
don't repeat
for this.
My name, I know my name.
But what I am telling you straight is...
You're only repeating my name.
You need patience to listen to the answer also.
I have full patience.
Today you are out of patience. What I am saying is, if anybody defames my freedom fighters, my gods, I have every right in democracy to approach the court of law.
Yeah.
I file my case, I approach the court of law, I argue my matters.
So instead of approaching the court of law, why the books have been consigned to the
No, one second. Good point. Indira Tiwari is asking you a counter. Let's put them on screen, please.
Why the books have been consigned to the flames?
No, Mr. Indira Tiwari
if the law of the land allows you to take the recourse through legal process, then why such Talibani mentalities have consigned the books to the flames?
Yes, good point.
Without understanding that the entire Mahabharata depicts the neo widely practiced in that period.
They have not
Kunti had five sons with the permission of Pandu. What were they? Tell me.
They were
that
not given permission to protest in anger. That was a sporadic reaction.
And this is
they burned the books.
I will say this is either Dravidian or Hindu Talibani mentality.
The writer apologized because what he was writing was wrong.
Those who want to ruin
Have you read the book?
Flexible,
do you know what is there in the book?
And growing.
That's what I'm saying is your panel does not have the facts correct.
Okay. Okay, but why is the BJP is Vani Tripathi? Vani Tripathi answer the response. No, what's your
Such are the words used.
Now they are exposed.
No.
The BJP is exposed through their fringe groups that what actual their faces are.
Vani Tripathi, that statement is coming to you not from the Congress but by a representative of the Hindu Mahasabha. I am really surprised. I am really surprised, Vani Tripathi, that you don't have an answer to Indira Tiwari.
Actually, the BJP took this course of action in order to win over the Kongu Vellalar community, which has got a formidable vote bank size in the southern region of the Tamil Nadu state. And this is also, and this is also very unfortunate for the
people will stop shouting,
women at large.
No, this is, you see, Vani, there was a, Vani Tripathi. Vani Tripathi, put the argument in context. 1 minute, ladies.
Let me respond.
Before you respond, Vani, I'm coming to you. But before you respond, a point needs to be made. Before you respond, a point needs to be made. Before you respond, the point needs to be made.
No, just a minute. I thought you've forgotten. I thought you've forgotten by now that I'm also there on the panel.
No, you are, and so is Yogesh.
I've been patiently listening for almost more than past 25 minutes.
Sure.
I have two very basic things to say before you ask me something. Because, you mentioned Charlie Hebdo, and I think it's very important to remember that after the horrendous attack that happened on that magazine and what happened to journalists, we actually have to hang our heads in shame.
These are lectures, Vani. They have no impact.
About the issue.
These are all lectures.
Which deals with.
These are all lectures. Lectures. You are making lectures. Come to the point.
One thing. No. At least give me 2 minutes, Arnab.
Yeah, but Indira will respond to you. Indira.
The problem with the free speech debate is that in a democracy, when you talk about the right to offend,
electoral
yes,
campaign,
there is a right to offend,
then you use these very forces for so-called Hindu
who is shouting? I can only get the audio link.
And now
not shout.
You want to
Madam,
say that you are...
Madam, do not shout. You've been speaking all along. You've been speaking all along. Allow the other person also to speak. That's also democracy,
I'm
right?
not shouting.
That's also democracy, and that's also freedom of speech.
I'm only conveying my views.
No, so just a minute. Let me complete my point. No, let me complete my point.
Now put to the flames.
You will not. No, you will not get any answer from me. Madam, you will not get any answer from me if you will cross-talk.
See, I don't need
so,
an answer.
Arnab, I just need to complete this point.
The country,
that the right to offend,
needs an answer. I don't need an answer.
The right to offend remains important. You are not the country. You are not the country, madam. You are not the country. Please do not represent so many millions of people in this country. There are enough people who are wanting to represent everything which is not favorable for our democracy. Please, for God's sake. So, Arnab, what I'm trying to say is the right to offend, of course, is very important in a democracy.
For the writers,
but people who are offended, why is she cross-talking? Why is she cross-talking? What kind of a debate is this? Why are you cross-talking? Was I speaking when you were shouting at the top of your voice?
And art. This is a reflection of the society, and nobody can stop.
What are you talking about?
Vani, I just want to ask you, Vani, I'm not putting your views to the test. Don't take me incorrectly, please. But suppose one second.
I just want to complete one.
Miss Vani Tripathi, Miss Vani, you're on record. You're a BJP spokesperson.
Arnab, just let me complete. Arnab, let me complete. Arnab, let me complete. Let me complete, please.
Vani.
The right to offend also lies with the people who are offended against. And if they protest about it, it should be peaceful. Any kind of vandalism which happens, and I'm underlining it, is a matter of law. And anybody doing law breaking will not be tolerated.
It's a convenient situation. It's a convenient. No. 1 second. This is a convenient argument which allows you to draw some kind of a distinguishing line between you and the VHP.
It is not, Arnab.
Both you and the VHP.
It is not convenient.
Both you and the VHP.
It is not convenient.
It is very convenient.
It is not convenient.
It is extremely convenient.
It is not.
It is very convenient, Vani.
No, it is not up to us. It is not up to us, Arnab. It is not up to us to lend ourselves to provocation. As I'm saying, we are a democracy. Yes, there is free speech. But if you disagree with my creative right of writing something which is free speech, the person who wants to protest against that also has free speech.
So exactly.
Only that free speech
This is exactly. You see double standards and hypocrisy.
And when you talk about fringe groups,
double standards and hypocrisy.
Let me complete.
Double standards and hypocrisy, Vani. A minute. Shobha, they're throwing a question at you. Shobha,
Shobha, 1 second. The hypocrisy is Taslima Nasreen goes through what she goes through. We don't talk about it. Taslima Nasreen went through we didn't talk about it.
Just a minute, please. Vani, all you need to say, all you can say is, no. Can you both, first of all, Vani Tripathi and Indira Sharma, please stop for a minute.
That's terrible.
1 second. Vani Tripathi and Indira Sharma, stop. I'm holding it over. Yogesh Master has been putting up his hand for a long time.
You have to exemplify what is
Vani, stop.
Please exemplify
what is fringe. Vani, stop. Shobha, one question. Yogesh, I'm coming.
Vani, I want to ask you a simple question. Is anybody suggesting that these protests were spontaneous? That they happened because the people of that town decided after 4 years that they were offended? Did you see any women protesting? It was supposed to be a book that offended the women of the community. He has spent his entire professional life. He is called the chronicler of the Congo's. He is known for having documented their way they speak, the way they live. Is this a spontaneous demonstration or is it orchestrated? That is the question here.
It is orchestrated.
If it's orchestrated, then it's political.
It is orchestrated.
Shobha ji,
It is political.
that's a very valid question. I want to answer it.
Because
I
The
want to answer
cultural
it.
map of this community.
Shobha ji, that's a very valid question. That's a very valid question
about
to
this
ask.
community.
Tamil Nadu politics. Very simple.
Shobha ji, that's a very valid question you asked. But when we broad stroke,
Yes.
It is all related to
can I speak?
political.
We seem to be making.
Vani, can I answer your question, please?
Vani, before you
Shobha ji,
answer, I
can
want to give you
answer
one
your
example.
question,
I don't agree
Arnab,
with
I
you.
just want to
No,
answer
Vani,
Shobha
you can't speak non-stop. 1 second, please listen to me. Please let someone counter you. Please, 1 second. The question is.
I'm not
No,
speaking
question is,
non-stop,
Vani.
but
I seriously question this. I think it's a damned bloody conspiracy. I'll tell you why. Because the conspiracy is this: you do the protest, I fight the courts. Right? You do the protest, you build the pressure. No, 1 second. I'll file a case parallelly and then I'll say, no, Vani, 1 minute. Vani, and you know what happens then? Then they say, oh, you know what? Vani, Tripathi, listen to me. Vani, Tripathi, listen to me. Vani, Tripathi, Tikku, listen to me. Vani, Tripathi, Tikku, listen to me.
If you are implicating somebody of a conspiracy, no, listen to me, Arnab.
Miss Tripathi, if you care to let someone complete, please.